24M, my girlfriend, 24F, is not into men anymore and I am now Ross from Friends. Too long didn't read. My girlfriend told me she does not feel romantic about me anymore and she doesn't feel anything sexual about men anymore and she might be fully gay and decided to end things with me. I am just broken and unable to comprehend what's going on. Also sorry about the formatting and my grammar, I am just too sad to care and I am typing this from my phone. Me and my girlfriend have been together in LDR for the past 9 months and we have been friends for close to 10 years. Everything was going well but a few months ago she realized she was bi. I was accepting and have been supportive of her and I even gave her space to explore. After her first experience with a woman last month things changed. She was under a lot of stress emotionally and I could not understand what was happening with her and like what she was going through. I just decided to give her some space and we agreed she should speak to a therapist about what she was feeling and she did. Yesterday after speaking to the therapist, she told me that we need to break up and she doesn't feel romantically about me anymore and is finding it difficult to think about men sexually. I am just broken and at so much loss. I don't know what to say or do or how to move on from this. I have never been so invested in a relationship before. This is just extremely painful and feels so unfair. Like I can't be with the girl I love so much just 'cause of my gender. I know what I am feeling is extremely irrational but I am deeply in love and this just is something I can't process no matter how much I try. The worst part is we spent our relationship in long distance 'cause of COVID and we are only a month away from meeting each other. I was supposed to fly down to her place end of this month. We were finally going to meet each other and do all the things we have planned for months on doing together. I have been waiting for this for so long and now all my dreams have been crushed. While we were together she was always really into me, she loved me and still says she does. She said and I quote extremely attracted to me and like we had so much chemistry and affection for each other. Like how could all this just change? It's just something I can't comprehend. Like she had several other relationships in the past with men where this never happened. Why is this happening with me? I don't understand any of this. I am not mad at her, like none of this is her fault, which just makes this breakup the hardest one I have ever had so far. It was the healthiest relationship I have ever had and it's just heartbreaking. What do I do? How do I stop hurting? How can I even process this? Should I just go ahead and try meeting her? How do I cope with this? Is there a chance she is not fully gay and might be interested in men again at a later point? Edit, minor details. Update, thanks for all your responses, and for sharing your own heartbreak experiences with me. I realize there is nothing I can really do here and have to move on from all of this. It's hard and I realize it must be harder for her to put me through this. She is a wonderful person and has always cared about me and no matter how unfair all this seems to me, respecting her feelings and not letting her feel guilty is the best thing I can do for her. However, I am still really broken and it's gonna take me a while to get back to normal. I have been talking to my friends but it doesn't feel very comforting right now, but I think over time things might get better. Some part of me still wants to go and meet her. I know it's a bad idea but I am going to regret never meeting her in person. Still unsure what to do about it. But thank you all for sharing your opinions and the support. You folks are awesome. Hey man, been there, except mine was after 17 years of marriage and 2 kids. It hurt like I couldn't believe. Seriously, like constant chest pain for 2 years. You need to go through the whole grieving process and come out the far side. In the end, you will realize that you dodged a bullet and better that she came to herself sooner, rather than later. Keep your friends and loved ones close, stay busy. Pick up a new hobby or 2 and take the time to do the difficult work of getting through your pain and out the far side. In the end, the reason for the breakup almost doesn't matter. Everyone goes through at least a few heartbreaks in life and each time it gets a little easier because you realize that you're always gonna be okay in the end. Take care. Like she had several other relationships in the past with men where this never happened. Why is this happening with me? I don't understand any of this. She isn't with them anymore, either. Try to focus less on the reason she gave you and more on the fact that she simply doesn't want a relationship with you anymore. Why doesn't really matter, for your purposes. Questions like will she ever be attracted to men again? Are completely beside the point. and impossible to answer. Your relationship is still over, no matter what path her sexuality takes. That hurts, and I know you're desperately looking for loopholes that will give you hope that it's not really over, but you're only dragging out the pain by doing so. I wouldn't meet with her. Not now, while the pain is so fresh and you still have hope. Take your time and let yourself grieve the relationship. She'll be fine, and so will you. Is there a chance she is not fully gay and might be interested in men again at a later point? Maybe, but maybe not, and waiting for her to decide that isn't the right path to go down. I'm sure she feels beyond awful as well for hurting you, but ultimately, her sexuality is what it is and it's not your fault, nor is it hers. Many lesbians first come out as bisexual before realizing that they're lesbians. I'm one, and it's possible that's what's happened to her. I'm really sorry this happens to you. I don't know how to process or heal from this. It must suck beyond belief. I don't think you should meet her, as she said she wants a breakup, and there's pretty much no way to make a meeting after that into what you're hoping it will be. It is really heartbreaking, and I'm so sorry. I would cut my losses here and do my best to move on. It will help your heart heal faster. Know that none of this is your or her fault, and you will find a relationship just as healthy and lovely. Sound like a good guy. This is rough, man, my condolences. This is a different kind of heartbreak. You must go through the grieving process, my dude. I have empathy. It will heal. I hope you have good family and friends nearby for support and comfort. Hang in there, man. Sorry, but it sounds like her previous relationships with men were just a cover-up. Many women who are lesbian feel pressured to be attracted to men because societal norms see it as standard for women. It's likely she suppressed her lesbian self with you and is finally coming to terms with who she really is. Today my boyfriend, M24, said he's always tried to control me, F21, as a joke. I am in a 3-year relationship with this man. I love him. But, lately I feel like he's had quite a few red flags. For example, I moved out of his place because I was temporarily quarantining, and he's guilting me to always come over, saying I'm making him depressed, but refuses to come visit me. He told me it scares him for me to be independent, I may become happier without him, and he's telling more frequent lies. Yesterday he told me I am extremely high maintenance, but it's okay because he loves me. However, he always prided me on not being that in the past. Now today, I said it seems like you may be trying to control me. He looked at me with a straight face, and said he's been trying to for our entire relationship, and how have I not seen this before? It freaked me out, and then he said it was a joke. I know he hasn't been in the best place lately, but I am not sure how to take this. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend made a joke that he's trying to control me. It felt real. I'm worried. He's not joking. He's telling you how it is. It's very likely that this will only get worse, as my abusive ex also started with the guilt tripping and little digs. He was breaking down my self-esteem and boundaries so he could ramp up the abuse. Your guy might be doing the same. Leave him. For your own sake, for your own future, leave this guy. He won't suddenly respect you or your boundaries, so leave. It's not a joke. Run. Not a joke. He's manipulative and controlling. Seriously trying to make you break quarantine because he, a whole 24-year-old grown man, can't cope on his own. He's even admitted that he doesn't want you doing anything that mean you could leave him. What else does he need to do? Show you his membership card of the abusive boyfriends who will ruin your life association. Take note of the red flags and get out. I dated a guy like this at the same age you are. He didn't like that I didn't need him, that I could pay bills and take care of myself. He said that my independence made him feel like less of a man. He would say things like, normally I don't like underscore, but because I love you it's okay. That again then supposed compliment. Ugh, such bullshit. You are too young and don't have to put up with this. Saying something you call out is just a joke is bullshit. Don't put up with it. My 24F son, 8M, is meeting his dad, 25M, for the first time today. How can I support him? my son / make this easier. Though I'm a single mom to my awesome little dude. His dad has never been in the picture before. We were very young when we had him, in high school. I wasn't ready for a relationship and he wasn't ready to be a dad. He, my son's father, never met him as a baby, he didn't want to, and has had zero contact until now. He, my son's dad, got in touch with me last month and said that he regretted never getting in touch and that he was interested in knowing more about our life and if I was open to letting them meet. He wasn't a bad guy, we were both just scared kids. He seemed truly regretful that he was never involved and said it's been eating him for years and he would like to start paying child support and have a relationship. I asked my son if he was curious about meeting his dad. We have spoken in the past about him a little bit but nothing too in depth. We've talked about how sometimes kids only have one parent at home and he has a friend with a single mom too. So he has a basic understanding about having one parent and it's his normal. He has a kid's book called Raising You Alone, which was a great book about having just one parent. Anyway, I asked if he was curious about meeting his daddy and he said that he was and seemed excited to see him. I know this can be an extremely sensitive thing and I feel unprepared for how he might feel suddenly meeting his dad after 8 years of never seeing him. We are going to McDonald's all together for lunch. Obviously I will be there for their first meeting. My son is excited but I can tell he's nervous. What are some things I can do to make this easier and less scary? Some good boundaries in the beginning. I'm excited for my son to meet his dad and it will be good to see him again after 8 years, but I feel underprepared as a mother for the first time. Too long didn't read. What are some things I can do to help my son meeting his dad for the first time go smoothly? Hi up. I am currently going through something similar with my 9-year-old daughter, and would be happy to offer some advice on what has worked for us. First thing I would suggest is to get your son a counselor just to make sure he has some extra support. This is going to be a huge thing for him and potentially a lot to process. As far as the boy being nervous, is there anything you can tell him about his father that humanizes him? Like a good memory of you having fun with him? It will be good to establish some points of contact and start with a simple schedule that doesn't really cause a lot of pressure on the three of you. What worked for us was I would call / video chat every week, and we would just chat for about an hour over any and everything. After a couple weeks, my daughter started asking when she could spend time with me. I brought this up to mom, and we established a family member as a temporary mediator and started having visits. That worked great for me. Just remember this is new for all of you, and there may be some speed bumps, but as long as you're willing to work together and communicate, everything will be good. Conversation may lag. It's okay to let them be awkward in their moment, but if your child acts anxious, maybe have a couple of things they have in common to mention to help get the convo going again. That's a good idea. My son is obsessed with trucks and his dad is a car guy, so hopefully they can bond about cars. Haha. Please get your son a counselor or a social worker during the transition period. It will help him cope and also help him if the relationship with his father doesn't go as expected. It will also be responsible as an unbiased party will be there to support him. Can you update us how it went? I'm emotionally invested in this. Sad face. It went great. My son was very shy and his dad was quite emotional, but it went so great. I have no advice, I just want to wish you the best. You sound like a great mom and I hope it goes well.